Lesson 2.5. Let's march. Warming up. Observe the pictures and answer. Main difference between the two images. In the first image, the boy is doing work in the construction site. In the next picture, the boy is going to school. Change required. The boy in the first picture should go to school and enjoy like other children. Your contribution as a student to help and make a difference to needy children. You can say, I can donate my old books to the boy. I can help him to do his homework. I can help him to learn his lessons. 2. Put a tick mark or cross mark. A good speech delivered requires the following characteristics. Well planned and thoughts well organized. Put a tick mark over there. It is correct idea, you will get tick mark. Delivered softly and in low voice. So speech should not be in low voice and all. So it is wrong. Speaker need not greet the dignitaries and audience. It is wrong because they should greet. Language used should be suitable to the audience. Yes. Okay, according to the audience, we have to use. Speech should be of a proper duration. Yes. Speaker should be passive and have no facial expression. Wrong. Speaker should have facial expression and all. Speech should be Speech should be supported by good examples, episodes, visual aids where possible. Good. Yes. Speaker should switch over from one language to another. No. They should talk in only one language as much as possible. Read the expressions and insert them in the proper columns. Put the proper expression numbers in the right column. Greeting or salutation, introduction, body of the speech, conclusion, thanking the audience. Expressions. Imagine after 10 years what will happen? This is conclusion. Let me begin today by sharing my own experience. This is introduction. Honorable Chief Guest, eminent dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. This is greeting or salutation. I don't understand why we accept this issue so passively. This is body of the speech. I am Adarsh Birajdar standing before you. This is introduction. A renowned personality says, this is body of the speech. Good morning to one and all present today. This is greeting. I express my deep gratitude to the organizers of the event or function. This is thanking the audience. Number 8. Let me give you an example. Body of the speech. Thank you all for a patient listening and your interest in my talk. Thanking the audience. You must have noticed that this is body of the speech. Before I conclude, I would like to think over the fact that this is conclusion. 4. With the help of your teacher and classmates, make a list of as many Indian Nobel laureates as you can. You can use internet or school library. Name: Rabindranath Tagore, Nobel Prize for his Gitanjali in literature. Mother Teresa, for her work in bringing help to suffering humanity. Subramania Chandrasekhar, for theoretical studies of the physical processes of importance to the structure and evolution of the stars. Sir C.V. Raman, for new type of scattering of light, Raman effect. Let's march. Kailash Satyarthi, 1954, is an Indian children's rights and education advocate and activist against child labor. He founded the Bachpan Bachao Andolan in 1980 and has acted to protect the rights of more than 83,000 children across 144 countries. He is honored with many awards including Nobel Peace Prize of 2014. He had addressed this speech on the eve of Nobel Prize distribution ceremony.
Part 1. My dear children of the world. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, dear brother Tom Harkin, brothers and sisters, and my dear daughter Malala. From this podium of peace and humanity, I am deeply honored to recite a mantra from the ancient texts of wisdom, Vedas. This mantra carries a prayer, an aspiration and a resolve that has the potential to liberate humanity from all man-made crises. Let's walk together. In the pursuit of global progress, not a single person should be left out or left behind in any corner of the world, from east to west, from south to north. Let's speak together, let our minds come together. Learning from the experiences of our ancestors, let us together create knowledge for all that benefits all. I bow to my late parents, to my motherland India, and to the Mother Earth. With a warm heart I recall how thousands of times, I have been liberated, each time I have freed a child from slavery. In the first smile of freedom on their beautiful faces, I see the gods smiling. I give the biggest credit of this honor to my movements Kalu Kumar, Doon Das and Adarsh Kishore from India and Iqbal Masih from Pakistan who made the supreme sacrifice for protecting the freedom and dignity of children. I humbly accept this award on behalf of all such martyrs, my fellow activists across the world and my countrymen.
Some new words in this passage are: podium means a stage, aspiration means an ardent wish or desire, potential means showing the capacity, and dignity means self-respect. In this passage, Mr. Kailash says that he saw the God smiling on the beautiful faces of the children who were freed from slavery. He is always keen in protecting the rights of children. He is fighting against child labor. He accepts the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of all his fellow activists who had made great sacrifice for protecting the freedom and self-respect of children.
My journey from the great land of Lord Buddha, Guru Nanak and Mahatma Gandhi, India to Norway is a connect between the two centers of global peace and brotherhood, ancient and modern. Friends, the Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Respectfully, I am unable to do that. Because I am representing here the sound of silence, the cry of innocence, and the face of invisibility. I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair here as a reminder. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children because they are all our children, gesture to everyone in the audience. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I have held their injured bodies and felt their broken spirits. 20 years ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, I met a small, skinny child laborer. He asked me, "Is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book, instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" I met with a Sudanese child soldier. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. As his first training lesson, he was forced to kill his friends and family. He asked me, "What is my fault?" Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for our children. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." The Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty." Friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and mosques and churches and prayer houses have no place for the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the world is so poor, when just 1 week of global military expenditure can bring all the children to classrooms.
The new words in these passages are the sound of silence, which means unheard plea of the deprived, face of visibility, which means unnoticed suffering of the poor and innocent, extreme, which means a person who hold extreme political or religious views, militia, which means a military force that is raised from the civil population. In these passages, Mr. Kailash says that his work of freeing children from slavery is not yet over. Millions of children are left out. The children under child labor and slavery are having frightened and exhausted eyes. He shares his experiences with such type of children. He wishes that the children's dreams, like getting freedom from slavery and getting good education, should be fulfilled. In these passages, Mr. Kailash says that his work of freeing children from slavery is not yet over. Millions of children are left out. The children under child labor and slavery are having frightened and exhausted eyes. He shares his experiences with such type of children. He finds no fault in them. He wishes that the children's dreams, like getting freedom from slavery and getting good education, should be fulfilled.
I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept here. My only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child. Free to grow and develop. Free to eat, sleep, and see daylight, free to laugh and cry. Free to play and learn. Free to go to school, and above all, free to dream. I have the privilege of working with many courageous people who have the same aim. We have never given up against any threat or attack, and we never will. We have made progress in the last couple of decades. We have reduced the number of out-of-school children by half. We have reduced the number of child laborers by a third. We have reduced child mortality and malnutrition, and we have prevented millions of child deaths. But let us make no mistake, great challenges still remain. Friends, the biggest challenge or biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. We have utterly failed our children in imparting an education that gives the meaning and objective of life. An education that gives a sense of global citizenship among the youth. I am afraid that the day is not very far away when the cumulative result of this failure will culminate in an unprecedented violence, and that will be suicidal for humankind. Rights, security, hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala. I've started calling her my daughter Malala, not just Malala. So my daughter Malala and other daughters including Kainat. In fact, 2 Kainats, and Shazia, and the daughters from Africa, and from all over the world. They are rising up and choosing peace over violence, tolerance over extremism, and courage over fear. The solutions are emerging. But these solutions cannot be found in the deliberations in conferences alone, and cannot be found in prescriptions from a distance. They lie in small groups and local organizations and individuals, who are confronting with the problem every day. Even if they remain unacknowledged, unrecognized and unknown to the world, the solution are with them.
Here, shackles means chains that bind. Cumulative means increasing by successive additions. Culminate means to end. Unprecedented means exceptional. Extremism means unsuitable and unacceptable thinking. Deliberations means long and careful consideration. Prescriptions means instructions. Confronting means facing and attacking. In these paragraphs, Mr. Kailash says that his only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child. He says that in the last couple of decades, they have rescued many children from being child laborers and have prevented millions of child deaths. The solution for the problems cannot be found in long discussions and instructions from a distance. The solutions lie in small groups and local organizations and individuals who are facing with the problem every day.
Part 2. We can do it. You may ask that what can one person do? I would recall a story of my childhood. A heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away, including Lion, the king of the forest. Suddenly, then he saw a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" To the lion's surprise, the bird replied, "I am going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "How can you do it keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant, and she said, "I am doing my bit." 18 years ago, millions of individuals marched across the globe and demanded a new international law for the abolition of worst form of child labor, and it has happened. We did it. Millions of individuals did it. Friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. But there is one serious disconnect, and there is a lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform these individuals' compassion into a global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Mahatma Gandhi said, "If we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children." I humbly add, let us unite the world through the compassion for our children. I ask, whose children are they who stitch footballs, yet never played with one? Whose children are they who harvest cocoa, yet have never tasted chocolate? Whose children are they who are dying of Ebola? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and held hostage? They are all our children. I remember an 8-year-old girl we rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. When she was sitting in my car right after her rescue, she asked me, "Why did you not come earlier?" Her angry question still shakes me, and has the power to shake the whole world. Her question is for all of us. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? How many girls will we allow to go without rescue? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. We need collective actions with a sense of urgency. Every single minute matters, every single child matters, every single childhood matters. Therefore, I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge this culture of silence and this culture of passivity, this culture of neutrality.
The meaning of adamant is refusing to change the mind. The meaning of abolition is getting rid of. The meaning of compassion is pity and concern for those suffering. The meaning of inculcate is develop by instructing. The meaning of Intergenerational is involving several generations. The meaning of passivity is no action taken. The meaning of pessimism is the feeling that things will turn out badly. The meaning of neutrality is not supporting or helping. Now coming to the explanation of part 2. Mr. Kailash quotes the story of a tiny bird which did its bit of work to put out the fire in the forest. The message of the tiny bird story is that we must try to do whatever we can to solve problems. We must not think that our efforts are useless. If all of us make a little bit of effort, we can achieve great things. Mahatma Gandhi said that if we are to teach real peace in the world, then we shall have to begin with the children. An 8-year-old girl's question shook Mr. Satyarthi because he realizes that we are doing too little, too late for the exploited children of this world. We need collective actions with a sense of urgency.
I call upon all the governments, intergovernmental agencies, businesses, faith leaders, workers, teachers and NGOs, and each one of us, to put an end to all forms of violence against children. Slavery, trafficking, child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse, and illiteracy, these things have no place in any civilized society. Friends, we can do this. Governments must make child-friendly policies, and invest in education and young people. Businesses must be more responsible, accountable and open to innovative partnerships. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. Global civil society must rise above the business as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders and institutions, and all of us must stand with our children. We must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a cobbler boy my age sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked my teachers, why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? My teachers had no answer. One day, I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work." His answer made me angry. It still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow. A vision of that cobbler boy sitting with me in my classroom. Now, that tomorrow has become today. I am today, and you are today. Today it is time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children in the blinking stars. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree and mountain, I see our children growing freely with dignity. Friends, I want you to see and feel this today inside you. My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes and feel the child inside you. I am sure you can now listen to that child. Listen please. Today, I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas and Martin Luther Kings calling on us. Let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. I call upon you in this room, and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education, I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity, a march from slavery to liberty, and a march from violence to peace. Let us march from ignorance to awakening. Let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from mortality to divinity. Let us march. Nobel Acceptance Speech by Kailash Satyarthi.
The meaning of innovative is having new advanced ideas or methods. The meaning of fragmented is split up or disunified. The meaning of agenda is a plan of things to be done to solve a problem. The meaning of democratize is make democratic. The meaning of exploitation is take undue advantage of. Now coming to the explanation of part 3. The author calls upon everyone to put an end to all forms of violence against children. If the government is making child-friendly policies, it can be done. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of the author's school, he had met a cobbler boy sitting outside the gate of his school. One day, he asked the boy's father about it. The boy's father said that he had never thought about the fact that his son was working and not studying with the other children in the school. His answer made the author angry at that time. It still makes him angry, but today it is time for every child to have a right to grow freely with dignity. Let us march together for protecting the rights of the children.
What does Satyati refuse to accept? Satyati refuses to accept that the world is so poor when just 1 week of global military expenditure is sufficient to pay for the education of all the children, and that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children, and that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest for freedom. Coming to the next question. What is the only aim in life for Kailash Satyati? The only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child. Coming to the next question. What did millions of individuals demand 18 years ago? 18 years ago, millions of individuals demanded a new international law for the abolition of the worst form of child labor. What matters according to Satyati? Every single minute matters, every single child matters, every single childhood matters according to Satyati. What was Mr. Satyati's vision as a child? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. What does Satyati challenge? Satyati challenges the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children, the culture of silence regarding the well-being of our children, and the culture of neutrality regarding our children. What does the 8-year-old girl's question shake Mr. Satyati? The 8-year-old girl's question shakes Mr. Satyati because he realizes that we are doing too little too late for the exploited children of this world. Our collective inaction is robbing them of their childhood and allowing them to be exploited. What was the response of the boy's father? What was Satyati's reaction to it? The boy's father said that he had never thought about the fact that his son was working outside the gate of the school and not studying with the others in the school. His answer made Satyati angry at that time and still makes him angry. What is your vision of tomorrow? My vision of tomorrow is of an India where there is no corruption and no poverty and everybody can live a life of comfort and ease. What rights should every child have in our times? Every child should have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. What does Mr. Satyati request the listeners? Mr. Satyati requests the listeners to put their hands close to their hearts, close their eyes, and feel and listen to the child inside them. According to Mr. Satyati, who are calling for us? According to Mr. Satyati, thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas, and Martin Luther Kings are calling for us. English workshop. Question 1. Name the following. A. The persons to whom Kailash Satyati gives the highest credit of his honor. Answer. Kalu Kumar, Doom Das, Adarsh Kishore, and Iqbal Masih. The greatest personalities from the land of Buddha. Otherwise, the greatest personalities from India. Answer. Buddha, Guru Nanak, Mahatma Gandhi. C. So-called daughters of Kailash Satyati. Malala, two Kayanuts, Sashia, the daughters from Africa and all over the world. The foreign activists of equal rights mentioned in the speech. Answer. Iqbal Masih, Malala and Tom Harkin. Question number 2. Mention the social issues highlighted by Kailash Satyati in his speech. One social issue is given for you. Child labor, slavery, trafficking, child marriage, sexual abuse, illiteracy. Question number 3. Complete the following diagram or chart. The aim in life of Kailash Satyati is that every child should be free. In the first one you can write to be a child. The second box you can write to grow and develop. In the third box you can write to laugh and cry. In the fourth box you can write to play and learn. In the fifth box you can write to dream. In the sixth box you can write to eat, sleep and see daylight. In the seventh box you can write to go to school. Now coming to the fourth question. Complete the following web chart. What Kailash Satyati appeals. In the first balloon you can write, let us globalize compassion. In the second balloon you can write, let us universalize justice. In the third balloon you can write, let us democratize knowledge. In the fourth balloon you can write, let us march from darkness to light. In the fifth balloon you can write, let us march from mortality to divinity. Question number 5. Think and give your own response. How can education help the deprived children and child laborers? Education will help the deprived children and child laborers to stand on their own feet and earn a decent living. Because of education, they will get confidence and tolerance. The children can understand the behavior of others. Second one, name any other social activist who has worked or is working earnestly for child welfare. Write about his or her activities. This can be done as homework. C. What message does the little bird story of the forest fire convey to us? Explain. The message the little bird story of the forest fire conveys to us is that we must try to do whatever we can to solve problems. We must not think that our efforts are useless. We must not think, what can one person do? If all of us make a little bit of effort, we can achieve great things. Besides the political freedom that our nation enjoys, what other freedom should it strive for? Say why. Besides the political freedom that our nation enjoys, it should strive for social freedom where everybody is treated equally irrespective of religion, caste, creed and gender. We should have economic freedom where everyone is above the poverty line. Only then our nation will progress. E. What is your impression of the acceptance speech given by Kailash Satyarthi when he received the Nobel Prize? Write in 3 to 4 sentences. The speech was very emotional. If we wish the children of the world to be looked after well, we have to induce the adults to act in a responsible and compassionate manner. This can be done only by provoking their emotions, which the speaker has attempted to do. Question number 6. Choose the correct option and write in front of the given word to convey the exact meaning. A. Divinity, godliness. B. Extremist, militant. C. Culminate, rise to a peak. D. Exploitation, misuse. E. Mortality, death. F. Self-esteem, dignity. So you can fill in the blanks. I have underlined it. You can pick them and fill in the blanks. Question 7. Pick out from the lesson noun forms of the following words. A. Dignified. Noun form is dignity. Pacify. Noun form is pacification. Pursue. Noun form is pursuit. P-U-R-S-U-I-T. Ignore, noun form is ignorance. Poor, noun form is poverty. Divine, noun form is divinity. Now, verb forms of democracy: democratize, global, globalize, hindrance, hinder, resolution, resolve, liberty, liberate, service, serve. Question number 8a. Use the following words as a noun as well as a verb and make meaningful sentences. So this can be done as a homework. March, honor, credit, stitch. You have to use these words as a noun as well as a verb and make meaningful sentences. Question number B. Write minimum 4 hidden words of more than 4 letters from the word intergovernmental. So you can do this as homework. Coming to the third one, make meaningful sentences by using the following phrases. First one is in the pursuit of. You can write people lose their money in the pursuit of luxury. You can write your own sentences. Be afraid of. We should not be afraid of telling the truth. Give up. We should give up our bad habits. Now D. Pick from the lesson the antonyms of ignorance, immortality, denial, violence, well-known and slavery. Now ignorance, opposite will be, antonyms means opposite. Opposite of ignorance will be knowledge. Antonym of immortality is mortality. The antonym of deny is accept. The antonym of violence is peace. The antonym of well known is unknown. The antonym of slavery is freedom. Now coming to the next one. What will you do in the following situations? If you see a child working in a restaurant, if you find a child working on a construction site, if you find a child working on a brick work site, if you come across a beggar child, you can write your own sentences, you can write your own answers. You can also take the help of me. What will you do in the following situations? The answer for the first one will be, I will talk to the restaurant owner and ask him to send the child to a school. The answer to the second one can be, I will talk to the parents and ask them to send him to school. The answer to the third one can be, I will find an NGO and inform them about it. The answer to the fourth one can be, I will send him to an orphanage. I will also inform the NGO in the local area and ask him to help him. Now B, ninth B. Write 2 efforts that you can make to enroll deprived children or out of school children into your school. One is given for you. A. I will persuade the parents of such children to send them to school. And the second one you can write B. I will inform my parents and ask them to help the children by giving books or bags, etc. Then for C you can write, I will contact an NGO and ask them to help. Now coming to 10th A. Types of sentence. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete idea. Sentences can be classified in various ways. The following is a classification of sentences. First one, statement. A sentence that makes a statement or assertion is a sentence. For example, there are many villages in India. Second one, interrogative sentence. It is a sentence that asks a question. It is of two subtypes. Yes or no interrogative sentence. It generally begins with a verb and can be answered by saying yes or no. For example, are you coming with us? WH interrogative sentence. It begins with a WH word such as who and why and cannot be answered by saying yes or no. For example, what is the time? Third one, imperative sentence. It expresses commands, requests, etc. It generally begins with a verb. For example, open your books. Fourth one, exclamatory sentence. It expresses a strong feeling. For example, how wonderful the river looks. What a shame. Now, 10th B. We have to say whether the following sentences are assertive, that is statements, imperative, that is commands or requests, interrogative, that is questions, or exclamatory, that is exclamations. So the first one, the mantra carries a prayer. Answer, assertive sentence. Second one, is the world so poor? Answer, interrogative sentence. Third one, kill not your children because of poverty. Answer, imperative sentence. Fourth one, let's walk together. Answer, imperative sentence. Fifth one, what can one person do? Answer, interrogative sentence. Sixth one, we have made progress. Answer, assertive sentence. Seventh one, how utterly we have failed our children. Answer, exclamatory sentence. Eighth one, what a big challenge it is. Answer, exclamatory sentence. Coming to the next one. Rewrite the following sentences as assertive, that is statements. So the first one. Why didn't you come earlier? Answer, you should have come earlier. The meaning should not change. Why didn't you come earlier? Has to be written as you should have come earlier. Second one. How frightened their eyes look. Answer, their eyes look very frightened. How angry it makes me. Answer, it makes me very angry. Should I accept such shackles of slavery? Answer, I should not accept such shackles of slavery. The last one. What can one person do? Answer, one person cannot do anything. Question number 11A. Observe the following underlined phrases. Here, have or has are followed by the past participle form of verb. This construction indicates the present perfect tense. Find more such sentences from the text. See the first one. We have made progress in the last couple of decades. You have the verb have made. It is in present perfect tense. We have prevented millions of child deaths. Have prevented is the verb here. It is in present perfect tense. It has happened is in present perfect tense. You can find two more sentences from the textbook. Now, so it is your homework. Now, coming to the next one, B. In the following sentences, the underlined words are called infinitives. Find such examples from the speech and underline the infinitives. So the first one, every child is free to grow. To grow is the infinitive here. I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. Here there are two infinitives. First is to accept. The second one is to protect. You can pick up such sentences from the textbook and write. This is your homework. Now coming to the next one. Complete the following sentences with the help of the sentence given below. A. The biggest challenge knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. Answer. No other challenge knocking on the doors of humankind is as big as fear and intolerance. Second one. Fear and intolerance are bigger than any other challenge knocking on the doors of humankind. Now coming to B. The Nobel Prize is one of the greatest honors in the world. Answer. Very few honors in the world are as great as the Nobel Prize. Second one. The Nobel Prize is greater than most other honors in the world. Now coming to the 12th one. Match the following. Match the sentences given in part A with the sentence given in part B. Note the differences in the structure. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. You can match this with C. An extremist militia kidnapped him. The child was forced to kill his friends and family. It can be matched with A. They forced the child to kill his friends and family. We can do this. You can match this with B. This can be done by them. Now 12B. You might have observed that the sentences in part A are in the passive voice while the sentences in part B are in the active voice. Now change the following sentences into passive voice. First one. We can do it. Answer. It can be done by us. Second one. Her angry question still shakes me. Answer. I am still shaken by her angry questions. I am still shaken by her angry question. Third one. Governments must make child-friendly policies. Answer. Child-friendly policies must be made by governments. Fourth one. His anger made me angry. Answer. I was made angry by his answer. Now question number 13. Imagine your school invites Malala to preside over Children's Day celebration program. Draft a welcome speech for this guest of honor. Gather information about her from internet or your school library. While drafting a speech, the following points should be kept in mind. First one, greeting and salutation. Second one, self-introduction and introduction of the topic. Third one, a catchy thought or piece of news or short episode to start with. Fourth one, body of the speech supported with related examples and episodes. Fifth one, conclusion. Sixth one, thanking the audience. Now this can be written in 3 paragraphs, minimum 3 paragraphs